For many fans around the world, Leia is one of the most recognizable princesses in film history. But does her own adventure capture the spirit of the character? Let's find out. Where should I start reading? What is canon versus legends? When does the story begin? The answers to these questions is right here on Star Wars Timeline. Leia, Princess of Alderaan is a young adult novel written by Claudia Gray and released in September of 2018. It features a cover illustration by Daniel Walsh. For me, it almost looks like a younger version of Carrie Fisher and a likeness of a different actress. If Lucasfilm ever chooses to recast the role, I would hope the new actress would look something similar to this. This was a very eye-catching cover and I really enjoyed it. Now let's talk about the book itself. It takes place 3 years before Battle of Yavin, or before Episode 4, and features a 16-year-old Leia Organa. The story opens up with the Day of the Demand. It's an Alderaanian traditional ceremony in which a teenage princess must prove herself a worthy successor to the throne by overcoming challenges of the body, mind, and the heart. Her parents, Queen Breya and Bail Organa, seem to act strangely for the past 6 months, and they spend more time with their guests, attending private meetings with off-world senators, which makes Leia very concerned and anxious, and she doesn't quite understand their behavior. She vows to do something truly special to get her parents' attention, and the following day, Leia travels aboard Tantive 4 with Captain Antilles to the planet Wubani on her first relief mission. She's alarmed to find that the planet's economy has completely collapsed under the Imperial rule and its citizens are suffering. After distributing the supplies, the young Alderaanian takes matters into her own hands. She gathers 100 refugees on board of her ship and brings them back home while dodging the Imperial authorities. Upon arrival, Leia is scolded by her mother for leaving without permission, and Queen Breya explains to her frustrated daughter that Bail Organa, herself, and a group of co-conspirators worked hard in secret to relocate Wubani population, and Leia's rash actions have undermined her father's work. The following day, Leia sets out on her first pathfinding journey with a class of other promising diplomat students, where she also meets a tall, green-haired girl, Amelin Haldo. Their assignment is to use their resourcefulness and make it out of the thick and treacherous forest on their own. The students face many perils, including the lack of leadership and an injured classmate, but manage to overcome their differences and complete the mission on time. So what are my thoughts about the book? Right away, I'd like to mention similarities with the original Star Wars radio drama released in 1981. It featured a lot of expanded scenes that we don't see in the final film. It expanded the lore and fleshed out the characters in a very interesting way. For example, there's a lot of cool scenes with Leia traveling aboard Tantive 4 on relief missions to different planets. Meanwhile, she dodges all the Imperial authorities as well as Darth Vader himself. That's exactly what this book reads like the first act of a movie or maybe an episode of a television show. I absolutely loved Leia's coming of age and feel it's the best part of the book. All of Claudia Gray's characters are very layered, and our favorite princess is no exception here. Leia is a very young and restless girl. She wants to do something meaningful about her life, but she's not quite sure of herself yet. She isn't her own person and still relies on her parents' approval and their attention. I think the author intentionally paralleled Leia's character with Luke we see in Episode 4 to draw the bridge between the two siblings and make them closer than ever before. I remember reading the novel before the release of The Last of the Jedi, where we see Haldo as one of the resistance leaders at Leia's side. I wasn't a huge fan of the character in the film. I wish they could have done a little bit more with the character. But in the book, her role has a lot more meaning. It creates an interesting contrast with Leia's personality, and their bond, which is attained through hardship, helps Leia gain new perspective on life. I would say the only shortcoming of this book is its length. I understand it's a young adult novel, but I wish it took us all the way to the beginning of Episode 4. It gave us a glimpse into Leia's early life, but it doesn't quite complete the coming-of-age story arc. Still, I had a blast reading this book, and I hope a sequel comes out someday. I give Leia, Princess of Alderaan a solid 3.5 score, and I'd recommend it to any Leia fans, and especially young girls. This book is a beautiful example of Leia as a role model. If you enjoyed this review and want to get the book, I left the Amazon link in the description below. As always, thank you so much for your time, guys. I hope you will support my channel and subscribe and leave your comments in the section below. Stay tuned for more cool reviews, and may the Force be with you.